What's good, YouTube? So, coming back from the pharmacy, people can't pay attention to direction. So going in, they coming out of an entranceway. But it's a bit cloudy. Look like it's fixing to snow. Oh yeah. Well, I'm doing this video because people. I got one subscriber who is all in her emotions about, I guess, me making a video to debunk the perception of Proud Boys, but there is nothing said about Antifa, who infiltrated the Black Lives Matter movement, was creating all these acts of violence, burning down black businesses, creating all this chaos. There have been people who have indicated that people were paid to go and incite these riots, you know, just to push a narrative. But nothing is said about that. Instead, people, when they see somebody, especially a person of color, who, and this is what I want to make clear. I don't say that I support anybody really, except for my fellow people who have a channel and stuff like that. I don't support violence. I don't support anything of the nature that brings people down. Okay, let's get that understood and corrected. Okay? Because like when people want to go to respond based off of emotion and want to just like be angered and triggered and stuff like that, you know, first of all, come at me with a sense of logic. Because that same sense of logic that this one person who said, I subscribe to you only for the purpose of when these individuals prove you wrong and become terrorist groups. Yeah, well, who's laughing now? Because it seems like the Trump supporters are laughing at the so-called black community who supported Biden and knew, and we have told them. And like I said, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Trump supporter. Like, I support my damn self. Let's get that right. First things first, I support myself and I support my family. Okay? Now, if anybody wants to know who I support. But when I say that I could take a step back and understand, see bullshit for what it's worth, that's just that. That's me having a unique perspective on things. And yes, people want, rather you have clouded judgment and go along just to get along, just so you can, you know, not think for yourself, which they love to advocate. Oh, you need to be an independent thinker. How can you be an independent thinker if you got to side with somebody? Huh? Explain to me how that fucking works. It doesn't. But anyway, like everybody was sitting back saying, and yeah, Biden got into office with the support of, which he admitted, I want to thank my black African Americans, you know, in one breath, and then turn around in one of those closed meetings, basically talking down to these people, the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons, and all these other black representatives of the NAACP and shit like that, talking down to them like, look, don't ask me for shit. Don't ask me for a motherfucking thing. I said what I said, I mean what I said, and it was rude about it. And none of them chimed in. They said a goddamn thing like, hold up, Mr. Joe Biden, check your tone. Who are you talking to like that? We didn't disrespect you. You're the reason why we are the reason why you're in the position that you're in. So show a little bit of gratitude, dude. But nah, Jim Crow Joe wanted to show his ass, and what other people been saying all along was, we told you so. And that is a hard pill for some people to swallow. But hey, now this lady wants to say she subscribed to me just so she could do to me like the Trump supporters are doing to the Democrats. Because I said something that she didn't feel cool with about me debunking the status and what the Proud Boys represent. Because people want to say that there's some racist groups, but okay, what about Antifa? What about Antifa? Nothing is quiet about Antifa. You sure as hell ain't talking about their actions. You ain't talking about their involvement when it comes to looting and rioting and causing such civil unrest. Nah, you promote that shit. See, wait, this is the shit that I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Acceptable selectives. Acceptable selectives. You choose to select and accept things that suit your cause. But when it doesn't, you're against it. Or you want to demonize something. And first of all, I'm laughing at this woman because first, you don't even know me. But I welcome your criticism. I welcome your perspective because, like I said before, I don't entertain echo chambers. I don't need people to always be in agreement with me. You have the right to your own opinion. Most people can't grasp that concept. They feel that you have to agree with every fucking thing that goes on. No, the fuck you don't. I'm not a sheep. I'm not a follower. I'm not. I know where I stand, and it ain't on the left and it ain't on the fucking right neither. I understand that shit. People always love to put you in a category or a box or something of that nature just so they can point the finger at you and tell you who you are without even knowing who the fuck you are. Yeah, I make these videos and I'm diverse in a lot of the content that I cover. I might talk about law enforcement, and there might be people who are subscribers to me who are for law enforcement. And I'm not saying that you don't have the right to be. That's your right. That's your choosing. But if I talk about injustices, hey, you might feel some kind of way about how I come across and how I feel about how law enforcement abuse their power and how they get away with such things that put people, Ronald Reagan, that put people at a disadvantage as far as their freedoms go and their civil rights. And based on the Constitution, it's like, damn, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And I try to balance the scales to say, hey, law enforcement don't just target the black community. They target the black community, the Hispanic community, and the white community. Why one gets more exposure than others? Go talk to the people who control the narrative, who controls the media. But people don't want to accept that. People don't want to admit, okay, yes, there is a force behind the driven mechanism of what influences what we see in regards to these media outlets and the narratives that they push. Now, I'm going to play the devil's advocate for a minute. Okay, so I'm assuming that this person who said she was going to subscribe to me just for the sole purpose of getting her kicks and laughs and giggles if these Proud Boys, who she assumed to be anti-black and terrorist organization, which is the same thing that they tried to say that Black Lives Matter is. Now, as far as saying Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, I don't deem them to be a terrorist organization. I mean, yes, the follower of mine, Ricky Manor, he said in his opinion, and it's his opinion, he has a right to it. He says that they are, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he said that. And if I'm wrong, then hey, he can correct me later on. But those who infiltrated the Black Lives Matter movement, which was Antifa and these other sleeper cells is what I want to call them, that misrepresented the Black Lives Matter movement, they are terrorists. But because they shaped the image and the definition of the Black Lives Matter organization, well, it stands to reason as to why the perception of Black Lives Matter is what it is in the eyes of certain people. And I don't blame them. Because how you gonna allow somebody to come in, dictate, infiltrate, and put you in a bad light? You had no control over the matter? Yeah. And there were some black women that well, there was one black woman who had stopped this white woman who was all mashed up and in her get-up gear, vandalizing property, writing Black Lives Matter on it, and she told them, she said, stop, don't do it, stop. That's not what we're about. You're making us look bad. And that white woman looked that black woman in the face, told her she didn't give a fuck, and kept doing what she was doing. So to the lady that want to put me on the spot, what do you have to say about that? What excuse do you have to justify that? And please come up and please reply with some logic. Don't reply to me with some kitty ass, juvenile, snarky remark. Put some time and effort and thought behind it when you go to respond. And this is a public service announcement. I'm all for debate. I'm all for people having a difference of opinion. I'm all for that. What I'm not all for is people trying to insult me, because I don't do that to other people unless you come at me first. I'll let other people draw first blood, and then that opens up the door for me to respond. And people sure as fuck don't like when you respond. I try to keep it civil. I try my best to keep it civil, and I try to see where other people are coming from. I do. And I try to have a level of respect, because I'm not always going, even with some of my followers that I follow, I don't always agree with them, but I have respect. And people don't know how to balance out that equation. I mean, I might disagree with people on a lot of things and stuff, but I have to discipline myself when presenting my argument that, number one, I come with facts to validate my perspective, and also being respectful when I do it. Most people, they just love to just, I don't know, what they say, be keyboard warriors or something like that. Which is fine, because, you know, people tend to get bored with themselves, and they need an outlet for their frustration, and they need to find someone who they could utilize and prey upon and make them their victims, so to speak, just to make their position in life seem worthwhile. And kudos to you for that. hey, whatever floats your boat. Whatever makes you function in life, okay? And if I'm one of those avenues that allows you to do that, glad I'm here to help. But I don't know. That's all I got. Kind of nippy out here. As you can see, there is no cloud. Well, wait a minute. Nope, not really no cloud. Nope. Everything's off. It's probably gonna snow tonight. Probably. Yep. Anyway, till next time, until next video, please like, share, and subscribe. Even if you're subscribing because you're pissed off at some of the content that I put out there, hey, there's a reason why I call myself the Senate of Chaos and Controversy. Okay?